Hey, so in this video, I want to discuss how to create a UI component and something that I saw in a reel, and I'm kind to I'm trying to figure out if we can do it. So the idea is this. So let's say we have something like this, and can I make it more circular in a way? I guess not. All right. Uh, yeah. So imagine this is actually, let's go on a clearer screen. Right, so let's say this is a toggle button, and inside this there's a circle. Right, let's mark it as red. Right, so this marks like day, and if it moves here it marks as night, and the background kind of changes. And this is what I want to build, and I'm not really sure how to do it, but let's try it. For example, how do I change that? So yeah, let's go here. I'll get out of this. I'll create a new HTML file. So we'll call it toggle.html, and I'll create a toggle.css. Right, so I'll move this here, I'll take this off. Yeah, right. Now for example, let's say this is my HTML file. Right, technically what I need to do is create a toggle first. Right, so let's say we are creating a div, and I'll call it class toggle. Right, right. In the toggle itself, let's define it. Let's say we are saying width is 500 px, height 300 px, border radius is 30 px, border background color is gray. All right, we'll have to link this. So link relation equals style sheet href equals toggle dot css. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna copy the path. I'm gonna go to our link. So okay, this is what it looks like. We need it to be more rounder. What if I do 50%? It's to 30%. No, I think 150 px would do the job. Yeah, yeah. This is the shape I want. I want it to be a little bit more wide. So let's say 800 px. Right? Okay. Now inside this toggle, I want a circle, right? Div class equals circle. And I'm gonna say that this circle is width maybe 100 px, height 100 px. We want it to be 300 at least. 300. Maybe actually we'll cover it with let's say 90% and 90% because I don't want to define p-axis here. Border radius 50% because this I want to be a circle, background color white, right? I need to save this as well. Okay, didn't quite turn out how I wanted because the width is 90%, it's covering most of it. 20% and height also 20%. Oh, now it's not working. So let's say, alright, 300px and 300px. Let's be reasonable here. Okay, covers most of it. Let's say 280px and 280px. Alright, let's say margin is 10px. 10px and 10px and 10px and 10px on all sides. Didn't quite work out. If I go here, inspect it. Oh, that's the margin for this. But that's for the circle, right? What if I say margin 20px and 20px? It's shifting this instead of... What if I add, instead of this margin, let's add padding to the toggle, right? That should fix it because padding top 10px, padding bottom 10px. What? Okay. Padding left 10px. Okay. Kind of there. It's kind of there. Let's say 20px. Yeah. Okay. Now we have something. Now this, I want it to be sunny in a way, right? So let's say a circle color is, let's say, an image, linear gradient, yellow and yellow and yellow. Now what I'll do is I'll make it a gradient. Of very bright colors. Okay. And now let's say the toggle's background is linear gradient of blue, blue and blue. So if I go to blue, I want a lighter blue. So something like this, followed by this, followed by this, right? If I save it, yeah, okay. And the entire toggle div will have border 2px solid white. White won't be visible, so let's say black. Yeah, so now it is rendering the toggle well. We should aim to add some clouds here. Now I'm not sure, the biggest challenge that I'm feeling is, let's say if I add a cloud here, and if I add a cloud here, and if I add a cloud here, alright, technically it will be 3 circles in a way, right? So let's say I'm adding div class equals cloud 1, and I'll give them a cloud 1, div class equals cloud 2, and div class equals cloud 3, right? And now in these, let's say cloud, I want the background color, I want the background image to be a linear gradient of 45 degrees between gray, white, white, and this white will make it to slightly bluish tints. We won't be able to see them, right? We shouldn't be able to see them, yeah, because they are hidden somewhere here, and the width and height is not defined, right? So let's actually give them width and height. So width will be, let's say 50px, no, 70px, height is 35px, border radius 50%, and I want it to be at the bottom corner. So top, let's say 60px, bottom, no, left to be, since the height, the width is 800px, so let's say 700px. The height is also 300, so we can give it to something like 280px. You can try this. So yeah, you can see they are here, right? So instead of that, what I'll do is I'll cut this, and then cloud 1 will have this. So if I save it, now I should see only one cloud. Yeah. I want the height to be bigger, so something like, let's say height to be 70px. Now it's a circle. I need it to be bigger, 100px. Okay. Now it is going top 280px, but left 700px is not something that I am able to see. If I inspect it, cloud 1, top, so I'm guessing I want the position to be relative, right? Relative should do it. Okay, So if I do relative, okay, no, relative is not it. I think it's absolute. Because I want it to be referring to the parent container. Yes, yes, yes. Um, okay. I want it like this should clip it technically. But first I want to increase the size. 150px is this, and I want it to be 100px. Okay. Now I want it to go a little up. 250px. I wanted to go a little left though, so 500px. Yeah, almost. Um, Basically it should be here like this, right? But okay. Right now I want this border to be clipping it. So how do I do that? Um, I'll just take a screenshot of this. I'll go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT. I am making a day-night toggle with HTML, CSS. This is how it currently looks. Um, how to make the grayish cloud only show the part that is inside the border of the toggle. My current CSS. So this is my current CSS. I want only the part that is inside the toggle to be shown. Cloud is absolutely positioned and not being clipped by the toggle container. To show only the part that lies inside the toggle, you need to clip overflow at the toggle level. So this is position relative and overflow hidden. Okay, so let's say position relative, overflow hidden. So if I do that, I go back. Yes, that's what you need. Alright, so this is done. Now I need two more clouds like this. Cloud 2, position relative, sorry, absolute, width. This one I need to be a proper circle really. So width 150px, height also 150px, border radius 50%, top I want it to be a little higher 200px, left uh, slightly to the left 550px. Okay, yeah, almost what I wanted, almost what I needed as well. Now I want one more circle here, right? So let's say dot cloud 3, position absolute, width should be slightly less 100px, height 80px, border radius 50%. Top, uh, hmm. So I want it to be, how do I pause the video? No, I don't want to print it. So we were here and I kind of went to get some food, but yeah, we are trying to create one more cloud. So yeah, I want it to be slightly below the first cloud. So let's say 220px, and left is 580px. Uh, should be more, I guess. 600. No, has to be 650px. Okay. What if I make it a little bigger? Let's say 150px. And height will be 100px. 120px. Yeah. So we have our clouds now. Okay. Great. So we are done with that. Now how do I think the next challenge would be making it move, right? So if I move it, like if I click on it, it should move, right? So let's say cloud, no, I want the circle to move. On click, so how do I make the change? Click CSS, button click me. So there is no way, okay? And I don't want to use JavaScript. Okay, let's ask GPT, like using only CSS, how to make this circle move to the right. Transform plus transition. Okay. Dot toggle dot active dot circle. Move to the right. But it won't have a dot active class, right? Or does it? Dot toggle is just a div, so it won't have an active class, right? Correct, a plain div will never get a docked active class by itself. Oh, okay. So I can create a hidden checkbox. Ah, okay. So for example, let's say we create an input type checkbox and ID will be, let's say, ID is saying switch. Okay, fine. So this div class should be for switch. All right. So, oh no, it has to be a label. So let's say we wrap it in label. Label class equals toggle for equals switch. Uh, or I can technically make this a label, right? Because anyway it's using label. Let's call it label. Okay. So now I have input dot checkbox. I need to hide it. So in order to hide it, let's do hash switch, and instead of turning visibility, I'll turn the display as none. Okay, so if I go to my page now, something is breaking. Input type equals checkbox. Oh, okay. Dot toggle. Let's reload it once more. What happened? Input type equals checkbox. I'm saying switch should be none. I didn't add a for class. For switch. So label for switch class toggle, which is okay. Checkbox ID switch. All right. Switch display none. Am I missing something? Label body input. Why did the layout break then? Let me just ask it. I have created the UI without toggle logic yet, but it seems to have broken my page. Did I do something wrong? What? Yeah, that's okay. HTML head body. Okay, fine. Width equals device width. Fine, this looks okay. Position absolute. Circle has no position. Alright. Oh, It broke something in the background, is it? Why is that? Dot toggle width 800 px, position relative. Absolute. Okay. So if I keep everything absolute, it works. Okay, fine. We'll keep it absolute. Okay. Now I want to move this. So if I go back to the guidance, it's saying that switch display none dot toggle. All right. This is okay. Circle is okay. You want that when switch is checked plus toggle dot circle. Okay. And it's saying that we need a cursor pointer so that we know that we are pointing at it. Let's do that. So now if I go to my page, okay, that works. Translate x 500 px. And I want to do this with ease, so I want to add the transition here. So this is in circle, that when I do this, yeah, nice. Okay, now technically what we also want is when switch is checked, plus toggle dot circle. Technically I don't need this, right? Should work with this as well. Oh no, I need this. Okay. So I'm saying that when switch is checked, the circle inside toggle, I kind of want the background color to change to gray now. So does that work? No, it doesn't. So let's say what I want to do is, now I want to make sure that when switch is checked, the toggle, sorry, the circle background becomes gray, the clouds disappear, and the background color of the toggle becomes black. So if I do this, um, change toggle background to black. Alright, switch checked plus toggle. Background image none. Background color D3 D3 D3. So I was right. Switch checked. I want the background color. Let's say background image none. Just in case we have defined. Oh, we have defined image none. Sorry. So this should be background gradient. Background image linear gradient. I want it to be gray, white, gray. Alright, so let's say I go back, didn't change a thing. Background image none. Okay, transforms it to here, but it doesn't change the color. This is my CSS, but the circle color doesn't change on toggle. Invalid linear gradient syntax. Oh, I forgot to add a comma here. God. Okay. So now if I go here, okay, okay. Let's add a 45-degree here, 45-degree, and instead of white, let's make it gray, and this should be white. Now if I save it, I reload it, yeah. Now I want that when switch is checked, I just want the toggles background image, linear gradient, black, black, and this should be 45 degrees as well. So this should be this sort of black, right? If I save it now, okay, and now I want when switch is checked, I want that dot cloud should have a visibility hidden. Visibility hidden doesn't work. Let's say display none. Didn't work. Why? So it's saying opacity is 0. Alright, let's do that. Opacity 0. So if I go back to my page, doesn't work. Switch is checked. Dot toggle. Let's see if I add a dot toggle it works. Dot toggle. Oh, it has to be in the same parent, is it? Oh yeah, right. That's in the plus thing. Yeah. Okay. Now we should add some stars here. Okay, how do I create stars? What if I create dots, like white circles? Let's say I have div class equals star 1, and then I just copy paste it, copy. I need 3 stars, so let's say star 1. No, I want the stars to have background color white. I want them to have a border radius of 50%, and I want their star 1 width 50 px, height 50px top. All of these should have position absolute as well, position absolute, and then I want them to be top by 50px, left by 120px. Not showing currently. Dot star star 1. Let's say they have a z index of 2. Don't show still. Background color white. At least star 1 should show. 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. This is too big. So let's say we want 10px and height 5px. Now we want it to be 10px. Okay. Now I'll copy this star 2. This should be 20px, should be 20px, top should be 100px, left should be 140, no, left should be 180px. So yeah, 2 circles. Now I need the third. Alright, so if I say star 3, this should do, let's say 25px, top should be 75px, and left should be 220px. So now I have 3 circles. I need it to be a little bit more to the left, 280px. Yeah, okay. Now we just need to make sure that on toggle we are fixing, so all the stars should have a visibility none by default. It won't work. Let's say opacity 0. Okay, by default, and only when switch is checked, hash switch checked plus dot toggle dot star, I want that their opacity changes to 1. Yeah, right. Now what I want is hash switch checked plus body background color dark blue. Doesn't work like that. That's because switch checked plus body won't work. I want that when switch is checked, then body background changes to black. This cannot work because CSS cannot select a parent based on a child. Okay, so you can use this. Body has select. Okay, more you know, you can't select a parent from the child, so you need to use something like this. Okay, we'll try that. Yes. All right. If that is the case, now can I just go create display flex, align items, center, justify content center? Oh no, because flex won't apply to absolute items. Uh, Align item center. No. What if I say margin auto? It won't change anything, I think. Yeah. Let's say margin 30%, 30%. 10%. Yeah. Now we have something really nice. But yeah, that's the idea. Now we kind of know how to create these components. So if you are creating a mini version of this, you can always plug it in somewhere. But yeah, this was fun to create. Uh, so yeah, in this video we kind of learned how to, using CSS, how to add some logic. So you can use something like checked to make sure you write the checked logic. You have to use combinatorial selectors, both with spaces and plus. The plus won't work if the referred element is not a child of it. So you need to make sure that you are tagging the parent and then the child. So if you are referring to the circle, since the circle is part of the toggle, so you have to refer it as dot toggle space circle. Similarly with the cloud and similarly with the star, right? So yeah, this was really fun. I hope like we have gotten a decent grasp over a decent grasp over CSS, and we'll now move on to JavaScript.